This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Amber Betts.
Hey there, this is Amber Betts with the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver, and today we are here with Tucker with Malesich and Shirey. Thanks for being here, Tucker. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Great. So tell us about the business and what you guys do.
Yeah. So we're Malesich and Shirey Funeral Home. We're a full service funeral home. So we do the full memorial funeral services, graveside, cremations, burials, everything under the sun. Basically, if you can do it after you pass away, we probably do. We started in 2009 when our namesakes George Malesich and Don Shirey were working at Mount Olivet over in Wheat Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't like the corporate feel of the way the mortuaries were working at the time. So they just decided to start something on their own. And they've been working in the Arvada community and helping out everyone in the Denver metro since then. We've moved around a couple of times, but we're still here in the community.
Great. So tell the listeners, you mentioned kind of the backstory of how the business started, but tell us kind of how you got into the business and your story.
Yeah. So I got into the business right at the beginning of COVID, which was a pretty crazy time for this industry. My wife had lost her job as an office manager because no one was in the office.
Right.
So we needed something to kind of help our income, and I got into third-party transport, so doing pickups for the coroner's offices and different mortuaries and things in the Denver metro. You may have heard some kind of horror stories in the news by how some mortuaries have been treating some folks. And I witnessed some of that firsthand, maybe not on the extent of some of the things that you've seen in the news, but some things that I was just not comfortable with at some of the mortuaries. So when a job got opened up here at Malesich and Shirey, I kind of jumped on the opportunity to join the staff because I was doing removals for them, some pickups.
Yeah.
And I just knew that they were a good company. The company was small, so it's just I wanted to be with a good team, and I got on at a good time.
Got it. Okay, so tell us kind of why your families and clients, why did they choose you over somebody else, or what kind of separates you from other funeral homes out there?
Yeah, so we're family owned, so we're local. Everybody who works here lives here. The money that gets spent here stays here. A lot of families will choose us because of price. We're lower on the price range because we don't have the overhead of the bank-owned mortuaries. But personally, I think that we offer more than what other mortuaries do. We don't use third parties, so we work with local suppliers. Our phones are forwarded 24/7 to someone on staff, a funeral director on staff. So no matter what time of day, families have that option to speak to somebody who knows what they're talking about, not necessarily a call center.
Yeah.
So personally, it's just the personal touch that we can give and help guide families. I also want to touch on we're one of the few funeral homes in the area that will walk families through the Social Security, social services, burial assistance process. Most mortuaries won't even help you with that, and they expect payment up front. We don't go that route. We're solely on trying to help people through this process, which can be trying, especially when you're having to make these decisions in a time of grief.
Sure. Yep. Amazing. So tell the listeners, do you have any news, specials, updates you want to share?
Yeah, of course. So back in 2022, Don decided he got an epiphany in the middle of the night, and he had a higher calling, and he went on to go be a county sheriff with Jefferson County. And George retired in April of 2022, and so we do have new owners since 2022, but it's he sold it to somebody who was working here, who was kind of already on staff to keep it out of that corporate world, so we can continue to do what we do. So that's something fairly new. We've also, over the past couple of months, moved to a new location. We used to be off of 54th and Ward. Right now we're on the corner of 69th and Wadsworth in a little red farmhouse. It used to be a doll hospital and a salon. So it has a lot of history, So we have moved since then. And then since George retired, he retired Lieutenant Colonel with the Air Force before he got back into the funeral industry. Because of that, and because of Don pursuing being a sheriff, we do 10% off of all our services for veterans, first responders, obviously active duty military as well, and their families, just because we do want to continue honoring them for what they do. Great.
Love that. So tell the listeners, Tucker, anything you do to give back, get involved in community, that kind of stuff.
Actually kind of in the same vein of working with veterans, we help a couple of the local VFWs in the area. A lot of times they get some flags that are tattered and worn that they have to decommission and dispose of. So we take them off their hands, and anytime a veteran comes through our care that'll be cremated, we'll cremate them with one of those flags as an honor to them, and as a way to dispose of some of those flags that can't be disposed of any other way.
Sure.
And then, like I said, we work really closely with social services to be able to help those people that don't really have the means to help themselves. We pursue instances of people who are destitute and don't have the means to pay for it or don't have family to help them. We work directly with the state to make sure that they're able to be taken care of and put to rest.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us kind of, what are we doing outside of work for fun? How are we de-stressing? And
Yeah. So I'm a big nerd. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I go LARPing on the weekends. I don't know if you know what LARPing is. It's live action role playing.
I've heard of it, but say it. Tell us again.
Yeah. Live action role playing. I dress in armor and tunics and cast spells at people. Basically, it's a combat system where we kind of play capture the flag and things like that. Just with like magic abilities. It's fairly nerdy. I also am big on arts and crafts. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and she's very artistic. So we spend a lot of time painting and making miniature terrain and things like that for her dolls. A couple of the other directors here, they dabble in like audio equipment. So we all have like our own little hobbies and things like that to help us cope. This is a 24/7 kind of business though, so we don't really get to choose when that time comes, but we do have those facets to be able to help us decompress, because this is a fairly stressful job, helping people through this event that can be pretty stressful.
I completely understand. Well, that kind of wraps it up, Tucker. Say the location again, how to contact you, your website, phone number, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's Malesich and Shirey. Yeah, sorry about the name. It's quite a mouthful. We also have the name Colorado Crematory, so you can also find us just by typing in Colorado Crematory. Our website is malesichandshirey.com and is spelled out. Our address is 6905 Webster Street in Arvada, 8003. But make it easy on you. Like I said, we're the red farmhouse on the corner of 69th and Wadsworth.
Awesome.
Like I said, our phones are forwarded 24/7. Number 720-242-6784. And you'll get directly through to a director if you have any questions. We also work on like pre-planning and things of that. So if anybody has any questions about paying for everything beforehand, that's a good reason to call.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for your time, Tucker. Thanks for being here.
Of course, Amber. Thanks for having me. Like I said, I was excited to have this. I'm always excited to share our story.
Have a great day. And thanks to the listeners out there.
Take care.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com or call 720-295-9588.